What's up, millionaires? It's your boy Millionaire E coming at you with a TV show episode review. Now, the TV show we're going to be talking about is Flash, episode 6, season 7. Now, let me tell you, this episode, hold on to your butts, y'all. It's getting scary. We saw a new villain, and he was terrifying. He was scary. This man was super strong. His name is Devon. Dun dun dun! Ah! No! Yeah, the villain in this episode was Devon. Now I'm gonna explain a little bit more on that, but spoiler alert for anybody who's not watched it yet. So, we've got the Speed Force God, who is incarnated or came to look like Barry's mother, which is pretty weird. First of all, she's acting pretty weird, and you got Iris. She's all like, "Oh, is it okay if I take this form of Barry's mother, Iris?" Then she sleeps at the house. She sleeps at their house, which is pretty weird because I'm like, and may I remind you, Iris and Barry are both married. So that's weird that your mother, but not your mother, is sleeping at the house. So we've got that in the episode. Then we're also, Barry's kind of like, well, man, they're trying to find these like people who are just like the Speed Force God, because she's like, they're just like me but evil. So the people they've met are Frieza, and that's her name. She's the big, huge She-Hulk lady, Psyche, and I think that's all. So they're trying to find the forces, and there's a certain type of wavelength that they have that they can find them with. So Chester, which is, bro, I love Chester, and they did Chester good in this episode, and I'll make emphasis on that. So Chester and Cisco are all like, okay, so let's see, let's make some type of device that can track all the waves and stuff. So they do that. Then they get stuck in a time loop, or not even a time loop. It was honestly like a time bubble or something. And it kind of reminded me of the movie called Groundhog Day, where the dude got stuck and he was living the same day every single time. And he'd do like different stuff, push people in the water, basically drive over the mountain with the beaver. It was a whole bunch of stuff. So they get stuck in this time loop, and this loop it's got everybody, in the 90s clothing. They even had Blockbusters, which I was like, wow, I'm telling my age here because I remember Blockbusters. And the funny thing, the really funny thing, and funny coincidence was they had Blockbuster has Space Jam, and I'm like, that's really funny because the Space Jam New Legacy movie is coming out in the summer, so I'm like, that's funny. So it's like it's got some old stuff, like they had movies and stuff that I didn't recognize, but they're all like, yeah, we in the '90s world, kind of cheesy stuff. And Chester's like, oh gosh, what are we supposed to do here? What are we supposed to do here? And this and that. We're stuck in here. And another thing, a cool thing before I go on is, what I love about a TV show is when you have like a set of characters, you have the main character, and then you have a set of characters. I love when they go out and they give that side character their light to shine. And what I mean is they get a point where literally that character kind of breaks out of himself or shows himself. So he's not like a main character, but he is just as important as the main character. And with the Flash cast, I feel like almost everybody has done that. Like you've had the Wells, they're incorporated here. Nash, he had to do some stuff. He sacrificed himself. And in this episode, like I said with Chester, I feel they did Chester really good because Chester saw his father. And this also reminded me of a moment in, I think it was Endgame, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Endgame, where he saw his father, Tony saw his father. And basically, they had this talk, and basically Chester, he had hate like stored up for his father because he was like, his father always never spent time with me. He would always do this and that. And long story short, it ends up being where, Chester, he's basically one man's junk is another man's treasure. And he learned that from his father. So it's pretty cool. And y'all remember the villain, Devon? Yeah, apparently this jock dude, he's the time god, has this power time and stuff. He's like, you know what? I was supposed to be with the ladies. I was supposed to be the person who's saving the team because apparently, he had that one thing where, it's all players hate when, it's like this one game and then you hurt yourself and then the team literally wins without you. And it's like you feel like, wow, I contribute nothing to the team. So he was like, that happened. Then I became a car salesman, and I was like, oh, dang. So Chester's like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. And Dohan's like, you know what? I don't have to do this. I can control everybody else's time, and my time disappears out of nowhere. But I guess we can all know that the name Devon will strike fear in anyone who hears his name. So we get back. Everybody's okay. And like I said, it's a funny episode. And the next episode, it looks weird. Honestly, not weird, but it's like, the Flash God or Speedster God. She's all like, oh, let me come up on your trips. So, if you haven't seen this episode, I encourage y'all to see it. And those who kept on watching, keep on watching The Flash. And if you are subscribed, click that bell icon for more notifications of videos. And I hope to see y'all in the next vid. See y'all later. Share it with your fam. Like the video. And I'll see y'all later, millionaires. Bye, y'all.